WVTC Radio Detroit. You can find us on Facebook, YouTube, our website, www.wvtcradio.com, or download our WVTC app from the Play Store for Android users and the App Store for iPhone users. Thank you for tuning to WVTC Radio Detroit and the Community Bell Show with your host, former Wayne County Commissioner Edna Bell. Stay tuned for insightful information Detroiters will find valuable. Text a friend and tell them to watch with you for news you can use. And now, your host, Edna Bell.
You're there.
Yes, good afternoon.
Lieutenant Sims, how are you?
I'm okay. How about yourself?
Oh, we did. I'm good now. I'm great. Thank you so much for this and sharing with my but Miss Sandy Rose, the owner of the show, always pulls it off. So we're just happy that she's there. Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. As you probably know, the sheriff is making Monday of the month, the sheriff's day. Maybe it's the third Monday. Anyway, it's Wayne County Sheriff's Day. You're on mute. Unmute your Lieutenant.
Lieutenant?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I didn't hear your question, ma'am. I'm sorry. She's freezing.
There you go. That's okay. There you are.
All right. Yeah.
Thank you so much for being with us today. We are right. It went out during the show. It kind of does its own thing sometimes, but I'm glad we were able to have you. Thank you again for being with us. Tell us about your responsibilities in the sheriff's department.
Lieutenant, did you hear her question?
Can you hear me?
It broke up.
Okay, she wants to know about your connection with the Wayne County Sheriff's Department.
Okay, I'm the lieutenant over special operations, which pretty much I oversee a lot of the uniform units that you see outside of the jail, and I work under direction of Under Sheriff Jafer, and I supervise a lot of like the mounted unit, the motorcycle unit, the college detail, the road patrol, the Marine division, special operations, narcotics, everything outside of jail. I supervise those units.
All right. So now I do understand that they are
But about how
hiring.
many officers are part of that?
I didn't get what she said.
Right. And you're breaking up. Yeah. So your role in the
You relay the
department.
question.
Yes.
This is terrible. Well, I am so sorry. I don't know if it's my going on here. Been ever since the storm. I'm Comcast has been out a couple of times trying to correct it, but it still isn't working right. We want to know about those people that report to you. I don't think he can hear me.
Yes. Those people that report to him.
Oh. How many of them are there? And talk specifically about the experiences they have and some of the other units and what they do and the experiences they have had.
So she wants to know about the experiences that some of the people that report to you are having.
When she said experiences, I'm not quite understanding her question.
Just some of the things that they have run into on the Marine unit that would be unusual. That
She broke up at the end.
Yes, she did. So I'm going to play a song, and we'll be right back after this song. This is WVTC, the gospel radio station right here in Detroit. Let's see if we can fix this.
Hey, the undersheriff is trying to get in as well.
That the Lord will not share. There's not a one heavy burden that God cannot bear. He'll take your hurts and your groans and make them his own. Come one day you will overcome. Lift up your head, dry your eyes, know that you're not alone. Lift up your head, be encouraged, your deliverance soon will come. It's closer than you think. You're just at the brink.
we're back to the Community Bell Show with Edna Bell. And she's having some technical difficulties, but we're going to try to muddle through this and get through the interview. And we have Lieutenant Sims with us, and we also have Under Sheriff Mike Jafer. How are you fellows doing today?
I am absolutely blessed, and thank you for having us.
Yes, wonderful, wonderful. It's so glad to see our people who are out here protecting us, and they want to be a part of the community as well. We have one question. We know that Ms. Bell is having technical difficulties, so I'm going to ask the questions today. And one is, what types of unusual experiences have you had with the Marine and the narcotics?
So, first of all, I want to make sure that you were able to meet Lieutenant Sims, because I got on a little late.
Yes.
Was there an introduction there?
Yes. But you can introduce him though.
So I definitely want to introduce my ace, our ace, Lieutenant Sims, who runs our operations division, which includes the narcotics, morality, road patrol, Marine division, etc. Your question to the unusual activity with the Marine division is unfortunate, but every year we get one or two either suicides in the Detroit River, and that's based on the river itself and not specifically one area. Detroit all the way up until Grosse Ile, Grosse Points. It's a unfortunate situation. We've had boating accidents where individuals lose control of their boat. We had 2 fatalities last summer. Someone that was near and dear to the sheriff's office, unfortunately passed because of an accident. And we just did a boater safety. We do a boater safety every year with the sheriff. God bless his soul. Sheriff Benny Napoleon started it, and God bless his soul. And I know he's smiling because Sheriff Ray Washington's from the family.
Yeah,
he's doing a phenomenal job. And right. we do a boater safety where we educate the public on the do's and don'ts, and we do everything on our power to emphasize the importance of having a great time but being safe. And we hope it works, but unfortunately there's still that circumstance where individuals go out and get into some type of trouble, and unfortunately it gets to a point where you lose loss of life.
Yeah. So with the COVID, have you had a lot of more boating accidents, or has it tapered off? Or
so with COVID, COVID, everyone is at one time was stuck at home, right?
That's right. That's
quarantine. Right. So the governor's order limited folks on what they could do, but the minute that they loosened up, the waters were packed. People were fed up.
Wow.
And outdoor activities have gone through the roof. I mean, if you're talking, I would just estimate, say it probably quadrupled in terms of recreational activity. You and I and Lieutenant and Mrs. Bell and everyone in this state that followed the rules. I had 5 kids. It was tough being with 5 kids.
Yeah, I know that's right.
We were on lockdown. So people were fed up. So with that being said, yes, to answer your question, the waters are very busy, very busy.
So do you see like untrained boaters out there? Before you would have, I know there are classes that boaters have to take in order to be certified to get out there, but are you finding a lot of novices out there on the water now?
You know what? I can't answer that question. I really have not. I'm not really familiar with too many folks that are unfamiliar with boating.
Okay.
We really haven't had that issue. Lieutenant, do you know anything in reference to?
No, but typically that's not an issue out there. Most people wouldn't just go out there and get in those boats and not know what they're doing, at least. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so we have a question from the audience. What kind of training is necessary for the Marine Division?
So first and foremost, we are hiring. Okay, let me throw that in there. Please,
Okay.
by all means, we are recruiting, and we are recruiting diversity. We are like recruiting heavily, and we want our officers to represent the color of this county, which means African American, white, Asian, Arab. We don't care what you are. We are hiring, and we want you. So I got that out of the way. Thank you.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
as far as training goes, the individual that our sergeant that runs the Marine Division that reports to two lieutenants, Lieutenant Sims, Lieutenant Gloucester, is on our dive team. So, God forbid, if in fact there's an emergency circumstance, he is dive trained. We have a dive team, probably one of the best in the state of Michigan, the Wayne County Sheriff's Office, that respond to emergencies in situations where they have to go underwater. And I don't know if you ladies are familiar with the Detroit River,
Yes.
but it's very dangerous and treacherous. And our officers are trained to swim that river. When I tell you trained, we're talking going down 200 feet under. So that is the number one prerequisite. You need to be on a dive team. You need to be trained where, God forbid, if in fact we were in an emergency situation, you would be able to handle the waters. Our dive team just got back from Alpena, Michigan, diving Lake Huron, like deep Lake Huron. So our guys on a dive team are very well trained. And as a constituent in this county, you should be proud of the fact that we are called upon all over this county from all the agencies because they know that we are one of the best.
Okay, and you handle all of the waterways that's in this community?
From the Grosse Point all the way down to Gros Isle, and there are a few other dive teams along the waterway, like the downriver dive team. But for the most part, depending on the circumstances, we're called on just about all of them.
Okay.
And we also work side by side with all the other agencies along the water,
including the U.S. Coast Guard.
Okay. And so I did hear you say that you are hiring, which is a wonderful, wonderful thing. And it's good to know that you are recruiting from the community. You want to have the community represented. How much do they make as new recruits, and what type of people are you looking for?
So we are looking. I'm gonna answer that question, but I also want to give the floor to my lieutenant, being that he worked the jails and the courts and he understands intimately. But to answer your question, first and foremost, I want to make it very clear that Sheriff Raphael Washington and his executive staff has been working very hard with the help of CEO Warren Evans to figure out how we can higher the pay. And I believe that we are getting somewhere on that. We're in negotiations right now, but we believe that the starting pay is gonna get better. Right now, the starting pay roughly for a jailer, when we say a jailer, you go to school for 4 weeks to become a corrections officer.
Okay.
And your base pay is $36,000 plus full benefits.
That's
we're
good.
hoping it's going to be in between 40 and 45.
Okay.
Start. We hope the commissioners are on board. Everybody's on board. But that's what we're at. But here's a caveat. If you're 18 years old, 19 years old, and mama don't want you at home anymore, I'm telling you, you will make 60 to 70,000 blindfolded.
With the overtime?
Without question. So I say that to say, if you're 18 or 19, there's nowhere else you can make that kind of money.
No.
And honestly, for the most part, be safe. So with that being said, I'm going to give the floor to the lieutenant.
And I would add to that, it's a very interesting job. We're looking for people who believe in teamwork. It's a lot to learn, but like Undersheriff said, the safety is most important of everything, and the environment is safe. I know a lot of people think, oh, you're working inside of a jail, but believe me, we have policies in place where if we follow these policies, the officers will make it home safe to their families every night, and it's a good job. I started day one at a very young age, and I've worked my way up through the ranks, and I'm ecstatic about the career I've had. It's been a very, very rewarding and an enjoyable career.
So it looks like it's open to a lot of people. What would disqualify me from becoming a Wayne County sheriff?
So if if you have obviously we do a background check,
Okay,
and you are joining a law enforcement family,
that's
and
right.
you have to have for the most part you have to have a clean record. When I say clean record, we're not talking civil. We're not talking some minor misdemeanors. We're talking felonies, serious felonies,
Okay,
drug convictions. God forbid, something that's crazy. But we're actually very open minded in reference to someone that's 27 years old that got caught up when they were 16 and had 6 points on their license. That's not going to disqualify you. And I want to make that very clear because folks believe that disqualifies them. That is not going to disqualify you. If you've had a DUI, if you haven't had a DUI in 4 years, you're good. You can
wow.
come. Yeah. So there's some exceptions. Times have changed, and we're trying to go with the times. So for the most part, the only thing that really would disqualify you is if you have a bad past, a criminal past. And I know that if you're 18 years old, just coming out of high school, more than likely you don't have a bad past. Now, I mentioned 18 years old multiple times.
You did. You did.
If you're 70 years old and you want to join us, come on in. So we're not discriminating. We are not discriminating.
Okay.
It does not matter how old you are. If you're 68 years old and you feel like you can do this, we would love to have you. And I'm not kidding.
So is it a physical job? Or
it can be. It can be at times. I mean, obviously, you got to pass a physical fitness test.
That's right.
Now, I will say that what happens is majority of the corrections officers become MCO certified, which you become a state certified police officer, where you can work the streets like under the direction of Lieutenant Sims. Those guys are all MCO certified. So we have corrections officers, but we also have majority of our guys are also state licensed police officers. So eventually, we believe with the new jail coming and the backing of our awesome commission, we're hoping that we're going to be having more presence on the streets once we backfill all these positions and get into the new jail. Because a lot of these individuals, they want fresh air jobs. They want to be out in the public, in the community, and that's what we're trying to accomplish.
Okay. And I heard you say a lot of these guys. Is that a generic term? Are there women there?
That's an absolute generic term, and it is guys and gals. And we have a few females that work for Lieutenant Sims and our courts and jails. I don't know the number, but I would say our staff is probably, Lou, what, 30% female, roughly?
Easily.
Yeah, easily 30% female.
Good.
Again, it doesn't matter what gender, what religion. Come on down. We are hiring.
Yes.
And so, is there a way for me to move up? Is
Absolutely. There
if a person says they like to go to court, they like to be the bailiff in the court, is that a possibility as well?
So that's a great question. With the courts, if you're MCO certified, you have an opportunity to work the courts. If you're MCO certified, which is a state licensed police officer, you're able to work for that fine Lieutenant Sims, who runs the Marine Division, Narcotics Division, mounted. We have horses, morality undercover units, road patrol. Our road patrol they patrol all over the county. They patrol the secondary roads. Basically the secondary roads are roads that are designated to be secondary, that we get a grant funded program from the state of Michigan, which enables us to put officers on the streets, and a lot of them are in the city of Detroit, believe it or not. So those are jobs that are available in the sheriff's office. Unfortunately, right now, our manpower and female power on the streets, we'd like to bring them back where they were back when Sheriff Warren Evans was the sheriff and times were better. So we need to backfill these positions, consolidate, and hopefully we have a plan on making things happen. An example is Sheriff Washington just brought up back the Scout program, and I'm sure you know that wonderful Commissioner Bell. She rode with us. She rode with our officers not too long ago.
I heard about that.
It's an absolute phenomenal detail. We bring in our operations division, we bring in our reserve division, and we patrol that area, four square mile radius, and we take care of quality of life issues that, not to say Detroit's not handling, they're just overworked. They don't have enough officers, just like everybody else. We basically supplement, and we go take care of the abandoned vehicles, stolen vehicles, things that folks been complaining about that have not been taken care of. We take care of. We pretty much bring the police station to you.
Now, I'm going to let Ms. Bell have a question, but before that, we're going to try and see if her connection is working. But before we get to her, would you explain to the audience the difference in the Detroit Police Department and Wayne County Sheriff? What's the jurisdictional boundaries?
That's a great question. So the difference is the county sheriff has jurisdiction throughout 43 cities in this county. The City of Detroit police officer or the Grosse Pointe police officer is basically locked down to their city. So the difference is the jurisdiction, not necessarily the power. But the sheriff does have a very unique power, because the sheriff is a constitutional power versus a police chief. The sheriff can bring you in and swear you in for the day and say, hey, I need you to help me out on this drug raid. Are you going to swear to tell the truth, nothing but the truth? So he can actually swear you in for the day, and he has the power to make you a deputy to assist us in our endeavors if need be. It's a very special and unique power. If you recall the sheriff posse terminology back in the day,
yes,
it's very similar to that.
And you deputize somebody?
Yes, and we deputize. So an example is we have deputized some of the Detroit police officers that work the water. So when we have a scenario on the water, they're able to assist us, and vice versa. We have deputized some of the individuals downriver, like Van Buren and Belleville Lake. So it gives them a extra jurisdiction, and it gives it's a mutual aid where rather than having 2 officers on the water, now you have 7 officers on the water.
Yeah. All right, let's try this, Edna. Let's see if you can.
Well, we're going to see if this machine is going to work this time. Can you hear me? It looks like you might be able to hear me. I love it.
Yes.
But this question goes to something different, and that is the waterways between Detroit and Canada, and Wayne County and Canada. What kind of relationship does your department have with the Canadian police or whoever manages their waterway?
For the most part, we have great relationships with all of our partners. It's just it becomes a natural thing where you work in the same vicinity, and you just become a working force together. So the answer is we have a great working relationship with the Canadians. Of course, we have no jurisdiction over Canada's waters, and Canada has no jurisdiction over ours. But we do have the U.S. Coast Guard. And the U.S. Coast Guard also calls the Wayne County Sheriff's Office for assistance occasionally with scenarios where there may be a person that drowned or a person that went under, etc. And we just had a call maybe a month ago from the U.S. Coast Guard. So we have a great working relationship with our partners on the water. At the end of the day, we look out for each other.
Okay, wonderful. Lieutenant Sims,
Yes, ma'am.
you have the Marine Division, the Road Patrol, the Narcotics Division, the Mounted Division, the Morality Division. What don't you have?
Well, as I had mentioned earlier, I work under the Sheriff Washington as well as under Sheriff Jafer, and I oversee all the special operation units. So I am fortunate enough to have great leadership to help me navigate through this, but definitely all the special operation units I do oversee.
We'll buy him lunch tomorrow for that. Thanks, Drew.
Now,
about the morality unit. What do you do with that?
Yeah, we might need you to come to church.
The morality unit is based. It's just based like a vice unit where we do a lot of the enforcement under for the prostitution and drug use. It's a serious quality of life issue that's going on in a lot of the cities in Detroit, where you have a lot of the drug use have caused our women to pretty much prostitute themselves out for drug use and whatnot. So we do a lot of that enforcement, picking up Johns and looking after the try to encourage the females to get themselves together. Of course, we're a small unit, but it's nothing. It ain't like we say no to anything. So we're out there helping best way we can, enforcing both. And it's kind of like the morality turns into a narcotic issue every time.
Wow.
And this is something that never slowed down, even during the COVID season.
Really?
Yes. That did not slow down at all. As shocking as it sounds.
It is shocking. Because everybody else was in, you would have thought that those folk would have been in also.
No,
that was
everybody had to go to work.
They had to go to work. That's unfortunate that happens, and it's still happening. I know that is. How do the ministers fit into all of these different departments in terms of, there's a ministerial group that the sheriff department works with?
That's correct. Yeah, there's a jail ministry. We have chaplains. They do a great job for the morale of our agency. We cover all at least most. I would say all denominations: Christianity, Judaism, Islam. We have folks from all religions, and they represent different sects. And I got to tell you, it's a beautiful thing because we control the jail in Wayne County, and we unfortunately have some of the hardest criminals in the state of Michigan, but they are human, and we have to treat them like they're human, and we're very compassionate when it comes to that. And regardless, there's a saying in this country: you're innocent until proven guilty.
Yeah.
And having that jail ministry, it's without say, a beautiful thing for an individual that is in prison and needs someone to talk to. So it works great for our agency. They're very helpful and they're intimately involved. And Lou, you can expound on that, Lou.
And to add on to that, I would say when you hire in as a jail deputy, you actually wear several hats working in those jails. And I teach at the training unit as well. And I tell all the new recruits, you're going to be mothers, fathers, aunts, uncles, teachers, preachers, social workers. You're going to wear many, many hats when you're dealing with the people who are incarcerated within our facilities, because you never know what somebody's going through. Mm-hmm. Just to stress upon the fact as undersheriff and the sheriff we are hiring, and we want people who are compassionate for people. This is an opportunity for people who just love people, and it's just when you're a people person, you will have absolutely no issues with this job. It's a wonderful career.
So now we know we see a lot of people out here. They're gonna get in line for this hiring fair. Can you tell me how they can get in touch with you?
With me?
Where do they go to apply? How can
you go to sheriffsconnect.com, sheriffsconnect.com, or you can call Lieutenant Sims' office, and he will refer everybody to me. Lieutenant, give me your number.
73. No, that's not a problem, for real. 734-721-7211. Now, that's my office phone.
Did you get that? Let's repeat that one more time, Lou.
734-721-7211.
Okay.
And believe me, and I am more than accessible. I work all hours of the day, especially trying to help out with this recruiting, because it is a great need. And the more people we get in here, the more we can expand out here.
How many people are we short?
Over 200.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So we got 200. This is how I would say. Sheriff Washington says it best. We have 200 good quality jobs that will put food on the table for a family and make sure they're covered with insurance when they get sick. That's a big deal, in my opinion.
Oh, the insurance piece is the biggest deal, especially now.
Yes, it's a big deal. So,
Absolutely.
we emphasize on the fact that it's a good job. It's a good quality job, and there's a lot of opportunity for growth.
Yes.
You have individuals retiring, and when individuals retire, folks gotta, keep moving.
Yep.
And there's a lot of room for promotions. Sergeant's test, lieutenant's test, captain, and on and on. It can be a very. I'm an undersheriff. I've been in this job 28 years. I was with the city of Detroit for 15, and I'm a proud member of a past member of the Detroit Police Department, and a present proud member of the sheriff's office. And I say that to say this job has been great to my family. I have zero regrets. Zero. It's been above and beyond. I've raised my kids on this job. They've insured my kids when they were sick. And I reiterate that because if you're a person that's looking for a job, this is a very good job.
Yes, and it's an honorable job, and you can feed your family. And
right.
Like you said, at 18, 19, 20, 21, the early on.
68.
Oh, yeah. But I mean, you can't get, you can get insurance and a decent salary. So that's
and work around good people. That's the other part. You're working around good people because that's important. Who you are with and who you work with. Working with good people make a huge difference in how you receive your job and how you feel at the end of the day. So that is just absolutely wonderful. Gentlemen, thank you so much for coming on. I am so sorry about my technical difficulties, but Miss Rose, who is the owner of the station, stood right in and took care of business. Thank you, Sandy. We appreciate you.
We appreciate you. Thank you, ladies. Thank you, Sandy.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. We're glad you came on. Lots of information. We'll continue talking about the need for sheriff employees. We'll continue to have that number available for those who might want to join. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. Have a great evening. We appreciate you. Have a great one.
Thank you, ladies. Have a good one. Thank you.
Have a good evening.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. And we'll be right back here next week with the Community Bell with Edna Bell. So tune in at 4:00 next Monday, and we'll be right here on WVTC, the gospel radio station right here in Detroit.
Thank you for listening to Community Bell with your host, former Wayne County Commissioner Edna Bell. This broadcast was brought to you by WVTC Radio Detroit. You can find us on Facebook, YouTube, our website, www.wvtcradio.com, or download our WVTC app from the Play Store for Android users and the App Store for iPhone users. If you've enjoyed this broadcast, tell a friend to tune in. We'll see you next Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern to the Community Bell Show, right here on WVTC Radio Detroit. You're listening to WVTC Gospel Radio Detroit,